variations, man.
Shallow cross.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like we did a series. I did it with Charlie Coiner, who's a former NFL coach, and the guy who was my assistant, who's now actually an assistant with the Browns. And we did a podcast throughout the season. We did it on Wednesdays. We called it Trends Day. And it was just us watching ball over the course of the season. And I'll tell you what, from just about every team in college put shallow cross or mesh in their playbook or some variation of it.
No doubt.
It had to be like, the RPO being defended by man answer, right?
Exactly. That's you're spot on. Everybody's going bare man free and, with the RPO stuff. And this was a big time answer. And also I think and you'll see it on the deal we'll talk about too, like the condensed sets. That for us was huge. And then being able to manipulate where the back lines up and really just kind of it really helped our personnel out. We got a lot of clips of that I'll show, but it helped a lot because you can't play man. I mean, that's the deal.
Right.
That's what I love about it. Because if you play man, and there's a couple times teams try it on this clip you'll see, and man, you can just cross them up. Cross them to death.
Yeah. No, it's interesting too, all the different variations you see off of it. Do you guys hook up in the middle there too? Clear it out and hook up in the middle?
We did. We had it in. We did not call it near as much as some of the tags you'll see on this clip. One thing that was unique with us is, we were a down the field shot team, and we started to combine some of that into the conceptual pass game, shallows and mesh, and that's what I think kind of made it, kind of take off, that's one of the big deals that really helped us kind of propel it, to kind of be able to attack every area, of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's 5 here. I'll get you rolling.
Okay.
Guys, I'm happy we're able to get Scotty Walden here. He is the co-OC and receivers coach at Southern Mississippi. And I had the opportunity to meet him back when he was the youngest coach in the NCAA at the age of 26. So he's an old man now at 30 years old.
No doubt.
But does an excellent job, a good young coach on the rise here, and he's going to talk to you today about mesh and shallow cross.
Guys, thanks for having me. Keith, thanks for having me on, man. It really means a lot, and I hope everybody, first off, is safe and with their families and everything during this time, and just really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to come log on and hopefully learn something. I just hope that during this presentation you can take at least one thing with you that will help your program and help your team. And we're gonna kind of talk about our shallow cross and mesh variations, here at Southern Miss. As you can see, we're not really social distancing here at Southern Miss. We're live at the Rock right now, so we got the fans going and we're ready to go here in the background. So, but I hope you guys can take something from it. It's something that we and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And Keith, you just let me know. You guys let me know if it doesn't pop up. Hopefully, everybody can see that. Is that okay right there?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we kind of stumbled upon this we had the base way of doing what we wanted to do, mesh and shallow crosswise, and we kind of stumbled upon this. I'd say about game 3 of the season. We were starting to we were on the tip of it, game 1 and game 2. Then we really found our niche, in game 3. And so it led us to kind of, really evolve our mesh and shallow concepts. And I'm going to go through the quarterback's progression, the receivers, how to teach it, and some things that maybe you can take with your program, and maybe some things you're already doing that can enhance it, and just some ways that we teach the guys reading the mesh. But then also I want to get into the tags and show you guys all the different looks and the different variations that we utilized, in the concept. So, kind of going on real quick, just to start things off, I've coached quarterbacks before, I played quarterback, and that's kind of my, my niche. And then getting to coach receivers has been awesome the past 2 years, going on 3 years, getting to, really, really get intricate with those guys. And, it's something to where I love coaching these guys every day. It's fun getting to fly around with them, and a lot of got a great group of guys, bring a lot of energy, and they're fun to coach. And one thing we've developed in our room, just for you receiver coaches out there, and maybe stuff you want to take to your program, we got a job description that we post in our room. So right when you walk in at Southern Miss, our position meeting room in the receiver room, there's a job description. And I just wanted to keep it simple and very, very just to the point, to where, you know, our guys knew exactly what was expected of them, what their job was in our offense, and how to get on the field, more importantly. So like whenever you have a young man that comes to you that, you know, says, "Coach, why am I not playing more?" You know, this is a criteria that we utilize, and this is what I do with them. I literally grade all 4 of these. So when a kid comes and says, "Coach, why am I not playing?" Well, let's start out, okay, with your job description. Let's see, okay, why you're not playing above the starting X or the starting Z ahead of you. And it might be you're not blocking well enough, you're not getting open, you're not catching the ball, you're not making plays. You know, it might be that. So I had a kid last year who's a senior who's a hell of a player, a great kid, and he's gone on to do great things in the job world. He's making like $80,000 right out of the bat out of college, and he's doing it right. He's a great kid. He would block, he would get open, he would catch the ball all the time. He just didn't make a lot of plays, and the kid in front of him made a lot of plays and did those things pretty well too. So that's why, you know, we gave him the nod. So you're able to kind of explain things in a structural way that your kids can understand. So, but the number one job description for us is we're going to block. You know, we're going to be a physical group on the perimeter. We work the 2-man sled every single Tuesday practice, and even Wednesday practice for us. We do both days of the week. You know, it's just a physical mindset out on the perimeter. We don't want to coach receivers soft. I want to coach them like linebackers. I want to coach them with a physical mindset. You know, because I think that gives you an edge. You know, I think DBs and defensive coordinators are counting on you to be soft on the perimeter, so you know, they can win one-on-one battles. But if you can win the one-on-one battle on the perimeter, you can block for 6 points. Number 2, get open. A guy that constantly is open for the quarterback, that reliable guy that you know is going to be there, and has, you know, number 1, he's got a feeling for finding grass, which our offense is all about, finding grass, finding space in the defense, and then also being great at the line of scrimmage with your releases. And understanding how to release. And that's kind of a topic for another day, but, you know, we kind of have a systematic way we approach that as well that our guys have done a great job with. Number 3, catching the ball, being a consistent receiver. I'm not looking for a one-hit wonder. One guy might go to practice. I tell guys all the time, you might just have a day where you ball out. You just have a heck of a day catching one-handed grabs and just going off. And then the next day you look like crap. You can't catch anything. I'm not into that. I'm into the guy who just consistently is catching the rock. He is a guy that we can rely on as coaches and as quarterbacks to get the ball to. And then number 4, score or be a playmaker, you know, change the game. So those are the 4 things that we look for, you know, in our wide receiver job description, just something maybe you can take back to your receiver core or your program. So let's move on to mesh. Okay. And I'm going to preface this by saying this, you know, traditionally with me, you know, I never really was a big mesh guy. Two reasons. You know, I've always been a wide split receiver guy. That's just kind of my DNA. Who you know, what we did back when I was coaching at East Texas Baptist and Sul Ross State University, 2 smaller universities that I coached at before getting to Southern Miss. You know, we would really spread the field and use every blade of grass, and I love that. But one thing that mesh does is it really gives you, and that's what Keith and I were kind of talking about before the session started. It gives you some man answers with zone answers as well. And so like what was happening, and you guys know this being in, you know, the RPO world that we live in now, is, you know, a lot of people are going bare man free and they're not going to let you run the ball inside. A lot of people running the 3 high jungle stuff. You know, you're seeing that even at the high school level now. We're seeing it down at the college at the college level in our conference and our conferences all across the country. And so, you know, people are ready for the RPO world, those type of deals. And I think you have to get creative with that stuff. But when people come down and just man you up, you know, a lot of times, you know, I think offensive coaches as a default, sometimes we just say, hey, and I was guilty of this. I just said, you know, hey, let's just throw the go ball. You know, we're just going to throw the vertical shot, which, you know, in reality isn't the answer. You know, and I'm not saying you don't do that, because you're talking to a guy, we're going to push the ball down the field. Like, I'm a believer in attacking people down the field. But if you're only going to rely on that, you know, you better be honest. Like going in the gym in basketball, you better be hitting from that 3-point line, or else it's going to be a long day. And so we wanted to have another answer. And the way that we did that is, you know, mesh really allowed us to condense our splits and prevent people from playing pure man coverage, because if they did, we were going to be able to beat that by crossing them up and doing those type of deals. And then we could dictate coverage also by condensing our sets and doing some of those type deals. And I'm going to get into that as we go here. But I was really never a mesh guy because of those reasons. I didn't want to condense the set, but I'm really falling in love with that, studying the Rams and the Chiefs. We did a big study on them last year, and it really led us to kind of get the foundation for this. And then secondly, I wasn't a big fan of mesh because I thought it was expensive. And I'm here to tell you guys, this is the way we practiced mesh. We didn't do the old school mesh drill all the time. Our offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, who he and I kind of collaborated this deal and kind of came up with the different tags and evolved it. And he's at the University of Georgia now, going to do a great job there. He would do mesh drill with our guys every now and then. But guys, we did not spend a lot of time doing mesh drill. We did settle and noose. That's a big drill for us. And in routes on air, we rep the crap out of this stuff. And that was really all. It wasn't as expensive as I thought. I thought you had to spend a lot of time on it. And so by those two things and then seeing it on film, I fell in love with it. And it leads into later on, we're going to talk about our shallow cross stuff. So, talking about the versatility of the play, another reason why I love it, we ran mesh out of 18 different formations this year with 13 different tags and 8 different motions. And I wish I would even put the different personnel groupings, because we literally utilized 10, 11, 12, 20, you name it, any type of personnel grouping that you can think of. And we manipulated that personnel, as you'll see in the tape here in a second. We had slot receivers in the backfield. We had guys going everywhere. And again, to the defense, it looks complex, but to the quarterback, the progression was consistent, okay? The receivers programming always stayed consistent, okay? So those guys aren't learning, okay, coach, I'm on the left side now, what do I do? Or I'm on the back side, what do I do? No. It's as simple as this. We install it. We have a Y, X, H, and Z. That's our receivers, okay? Whatever letters you guys got for them, use those letters. Our Y and our X are always running mesh. Our Y is going to set it. Our X is going to be bringing it underneath. He's going to bring his man to the mesh. Our H is going to be our flat blitz control. Our Z is going to be our first progression every time. And he's going to be running the corner route. And I'll show that here in a second as we go. And then we're going to tag off of that. So, but again, the quarterback's progression is not going to change. So it's an easy play to tag, and it's a phenomenal man beater. And the beautiful thing about it, if they play man, great. If they don't play man, great. Because you're going to have zone answers in the concept. It's not something that's an all or nothing play. And I think when you game plan and you go into games, the majority of your game plan, you've got to feel good about it as an offensive coach against multiple looks. Because I can tell you, and I know it, even at the high school level, coaches are getting so much more complex, sophisticated. We're seeing the same thing, obviously, at the college level, where we might get a bare front, an over front. We might get cover 1 to cover 3 to cover 4 per play. Guys are changing things up. So you got to feel good about throwing your concepts or running your plays against multiple looks right there. So we're going to jump into the tape now, guys, okay, as we go. And, I think, and Keith, however you want to do it, but I do think one good way I've seen, that's helped me is if you guys have questions or something like that, maybe shoot it in the chat box and we can kind of answer them at the end, kind of look over those and get some communication going, there. But I'm going to just keep rolling here as you see this. So starting out right here, okay, this is the way this film is set up is you're going to see the quarterback throw. Each clip is going to be through the quarterback's progression. So this first clip, we're going to throw to the Z, and then we're going to get to where we throw the mesh, and then we get to throw our tags, and then even our running back on the check down, which is something that, I think goes overlooked. You got to be able to check the ball down to the back and be disciplined enough to do that. So starting out, though, this is our Z is our best player. This is a kid that ran 4.35, second fastest 40 in the combine, and he's going to get drafted next week. We're praying that he gets a great draft pick, and he's going to have an opportunity to play in the NFL. And he's our best player. So we're going to put him at the Z spot, and we're going to let him work his individual cuts. So he's by default is going to run a 12-yard corner route. So no matter where he's at, if we don't tag anything, he's running a 12-yard corner route. Our Y, which is in this case, in this set, is our tight end, okay? Our Y is going to set the mesh at 6 yards. Our X, okay, our flanker to outside to the left, okay, is going to be bringing his man to the mesh. He's going to be under the mesh always. Our H is going to be our flat runner, okay? So when you look at the quarterback's progression, the quarterback is always going to start his progression at the Z, and he's going to work Z, play side mesh, back, okay? H is going to be his blitz control or his quick outlet, okay? And then he's always got his back checking down, obviously, as the third man in the progression. The backside mesh, and you'll see it on the film, it'll hold true as you kind of peek this, okay? The backside mesh is the joker that comes open against man coverage all the time. We tell him, if you identify man, if you can get – we want you to go through your progression, but if you can get to that backside mesh, it's going to be a really big play for us if you can get to it, okay? But a lot of tags that we did were there's a lot of pre-snap indicators for this guy that we trained to identify, okay, do we want to take advantage of quarters here? Then you look at this. If it's cover 3, we want you to look at this and then work it down to your mesh. So let's start it out the base way, though, okay? So we've got our corner route at 12. We're peeking that first, okay, down to the play side mesh, okay, then down to the back right there. So 1, 2, 3, kind of reading that triangle. All right, now, one thing is you receiver guys, okay, or offensive coordinators teaching this, okay, with the mesh. Okay, I do think one little tidbit that really helped us mesh-wise, okay, we said the Y setting it at 6. We're obviously looking behind each other here, okay, so we're looking, okay, for man or zone, right? So we're looking behind each other, and we're looking to see if there's a guy trailing my guy, and if there is, it's man. If nobody, it's zone. Now, here's one key coaching point that I think was critical for us when we started about midway through the season. Well, I'd say it was before the season because last year we ran mesh as well. We ran into this issue. It was big for us. When you peek, tell these guys when you peek behind your mesh route runner, okay, and you don't see anybody, all right, don't turn up with your head, but peek above. Because something that happens a lot of times, you'll see it a few times on this clip, the corner or even the safety, whoever it might be, is a lot of times tracing over the top in man coverage, and you can't see him. So like right here, you may not see anybody behind your X, but there's a corner tracing him over the top man coverage wise to give you an accurate read. So we always told that guy, or our mesh runners, if you don't see anybody behind, okay, if you don't see anybody behind, then peek up, okay, peek up and see if there's a guy running in man coverage, okay, with your mesh runner right there. All right, now with the mesh, okay, as these guys mesh, okay, we do have them slapping hands just for the emphasis of staying tight. This X, it's his job to bring his man to the mesh, okay? If there's air in between these two dudes, then it's the X's fault. So you know exactly who to place the blame on because he did not bring his man tight to the mesh, okay? Once they mesh, all right, we allow them, okay, to sit to grass, okay? So you can see right here, like with our X, I know the ball's thrown, so he kind of pulls up. But right here, okay, with our X, bam, okay, as he makes that read and he identifies zone, he needs to sit to this next window. So we are not necessarily teaching landmarks on where to sit these guys. We believe letting them find the grass, and that comes from your noose drills, even in routes on air, you know, having barrels, or even a lot of times it was just us coaches, and letting them get a feel for where to sit. Now, here's the rule. When he sits, he's got to sit. He can't drift, okay? That's a big coaching point. If he sits and he starts to drift, a lot of times that's where you may drift into a different zone. And then the quarterback, okay, might throw a tip ball here because you're drifting and that ball might get tipped, okay? And that's where some of those picks occur right there, okay? So just a few coaching points, okay, right there on the mesh, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and preface this. I know that was a great play by that Z right there. Like I said, he was a heck of a player. But this is not a greatest hits cut up. There's gonna be some bad plays in here too. So just stay with me, okay? All right, so now this next one, okay? Now we're utilizing, okay, some of our condensed sets on this particular play, what we call our squeeze sets. So that's where we're gonna set the in man on line of scrimmage. 2 yards, we're gonna set the slot receiver 2 yards from the in man on the line of scrimmage. We're a little wide here, and then 2 yards from each other. So we're gonna get in a condensed set, and now, okay, we knew this team right here was a team that when we got in a condensed set, liked to check, you know, cover 4 and run some quarters type stuff. So you're gonna see here's our Z, okay. Instead of putting him on the corner route, we tagged him on a post now, and we ended up wheeling the back, tagging a wheel to our back here. We're still working mesh, okay. Quarterback wise, we're trying to identify quarters. So if he felt like it was cover 4 here, which it is, and again, he didn't feel good about throwing the post, uncorking the post right here, that's okay. But he's going to work post, number 1. If he likes it, take the grass. okay? He's going to work on this particular progression, okay? Post, all right, wheel, play side mesh. You can see consistently working that triangle there, okay? Blitz control here, okay? And then he's got his backside mesh for man. All right, so his eyes right now are post, running back, play side mesh. Great job dropping it down in zone, okay? And you can see now one key coaching point, bam, all right? We've identified zone right here with our Y. We need to make sure that we don't sit on people. That's the only rule I got for those guys. Make sure that we do not sit on people, that we sit the grass, okay? And our X right here, okay, great job settling. Now we're just playing settle neutral drill with this guy. So now one thing that we talk about, the details of the play here, the quarterback, I tell this guy all the time, the guy sitting down on mesh, the quarterback is going to communicate with you where he wants you to turn by where he places that football. So this is something Coach Faulkner does a heck of a job, working with the quarterbacks on last year. And so, something that was really good for us is when that ball is thrown to a particular shoulder, I tell that receiver, that quarterback is communicating with you on where to turn, because you can't see what's behind you in zone as you're facing that quarterback in your noose, okay, and you're settling noose, okay? So when that quarterback throws me to my right shoulder, okay, or my left shoulder, I've got to turn into that, and that's him translating, hey, I'm throwing you right shoulder, turn to the right, get away from the defender, okay? So that's just a little detail that, we coach a lot right there, okay, on our mesh stuff. Ball placement with the quarterback is critical right there, okay? So, again, that's one tag that we made right there in our, to attack quarters coverage. And just, I'm not going to, spend a lot of time up front, but, there's any O-line guys in the room. Don't leave you guys out. Y'all, the most important key to any offense is the O-line. We were 6-man protecting this majority of the time with a check swing from the back. We wanted to try to stay 6-man pro if we could. But you will see some 5-man stuff, in this cut up as well, to where we utilize that as well. But, a lot of times, like this one was a 5-man pro, but a lot of times, we were going to be 6-man protected. Okay, now going to some of our empty stuff. Now, one thing I think is big that I think is something to where you can create matchups is utilizing your running back, okay, in different areas of the field, in different setups. So we used our back all over. And we actually had a kid that was a slot receiver that converted to running back. And so he knew the whole pass game. And this isn't the particular kid, but he's a young man that he could line up in the slot. He could line up as number 3, number 2, number 1, and be effective. What it does, though, guys, is it creates a lot of matchup issues, and it forces the defense to decide what they're going to do. I was talking to you earlier about our best player, and he's a great player, and I think he's gonna be a stud. At the next level, he's gonna have a shot. But one thing he struggled with was press. He wasn't the physical guy in the world, the biggest guy in the world. So one thing that freed him up a lot was when we utilized our back as the number 1 receiver to his side. The defense now had to decide, okay, am I going to put a linebacker out there on this guy? And in that case, we felt good about working that matchup. Or if we bumped a corner out, okay, now we just freed up our best player, and we've got a nickel or a safety on him now, as opposed to the corner who's used to playing press a lot of times. So, again, just another way there, guys, that you can manipulate your personnel and manipulate your formation to kind of fit your team, okay, and who you have. So right here, you're going to see mesh ones again. We're going to throw the mesh on the sit down, okay? The only thing that we've changed now is we've worked our pig concept, where we've got a post and a dig working by our Z and our H right here. So, if you notice in our concept, our H and our Z are the guys that are going to get tagged. Our Y and X are going to stay consistent, but our H and our Z, those are going to be the 2 guys that get tagged 9 times out of 10. So we've now tagged a post and a dig, again, for, looking at cover 4 in this certain instance. And also, if we felt like these backers were really hugging the mesh, we could throw in behind them. And then there is, okay, our check downs, okay, right there. All right, so really nice job, okay, right here. Really nice job by our meshers, okay. Staying tight, trying to slap hands, settle to grass, okay. You can see, he's kind of moving. I want him to settle as soon as he sees the grass. I want him to, bam, stop his feet, settle right there for the quarterback, be definite with him. We talk about all the time, don't throw the quarterback under the bus. if you start moving, okay, that ball is coming. All right, you start drifting into another zone, your head's going to get taken off, or the quarterback's going to throw an inaccurate ball. Okay, but nice job spreading the field, catch, get vertical. We'll take that. And you got to be okay taking those 5 to 6 yard gains right there. Okay, now we're starting to get into some of our motions. Okay, starting to get into some of our motions and some of our other tags onto this stuff. So this particular concept, okay, we've got tight end attached, okay, to the field, obviously FIB, and we're gonna motion, okay, our H, okay, utilize our motion to the field and motion our H over. Now, we're gonna run mesh with our Y and our X, but we're gonna try to work a concept here, okay, particularly to attack cover 4, okay, and it's even a good concept versus cover 3. Now, again, I told you, we don't have a greatest hits highlight going on right here because, you know, my slot receiver gets rerouted to Las Vegas right here, which is a great job by this kid rerouting us. All right, but we've got what we call our kind of our scissors concept here to where we're trying to get these two dudes on different levels. Okay, so we've got a big post, okay, working here. And actually, I think this week we had a vertical on, but we were trying to work a big, okay, corner route off of this, kind of, you know, kind of out route, corner route-ish, but more of a corner route right here with a clear. We wanted these two dudes on different levels. Okay, so we get rerouted there, but you can see where that grass was going to be for our corner route. Okay, so if we got, you know, our cover 4 look right here, which we ended up getting one high, the quarterback is still going to work his eyes that way, but then he knows, okay, once I've gotten cover 3 or a one high type of coverage, okay, I'm going to get back to my mesh. Okay, so I'm working 1, 2 to my play side mesh. Again, keeping that progression consistent right there. Now, one coaching point on the mesh here. Okay, not a good job by the X. He needs to rub that tight. He needs to take his man to the mesh. There's too much air there, okay? All right, now, one thing that this Y has to do, okay, notice if he's peeking, his eyes are here, nobody's trailing that guy. So he would identify that as zone coverage. Well, what he's got to do is he's got to peek up, okay? And if he peeks up, you can see, okay, if you rewind it, you're going to see that corner fight over the top, okay? Great job staying on the move right there, okay, and getting a little chip on that guy. Okay, it's a good job. Nice job by the quarterback and a good job by the X of finding grass, okay, in man and being able to dish that ball out right there. Nice job, again, making the play there once it broke down. Okay, so now here's what it's built for. You know, again, if teams want to, you know, play man coverage, okay, so you're you know, it's one of those deals, again, if you got it, to me, if you've got some guys that can run, and I think even if you just got a solid receiver core, this is good stuff, but especially if you got some cats that can run, and they may not be the best route runners in the world, but you got some guys that can really just run, I think all this stuff that we're covering today, guys, is gold, because you can, again, and they may not be the best at releasing against man coverage. They may not be able to win. Like the year before this, we had only one guy, and it was Quez, our Z, that could beat man coverage. And, you know, we didn't just have a ton of guys that could just win man coverage. You know, guys were manning us up all the time. This gives you answers. And you can free up maybe an average football player, a solid receiver for you that may not be able to get open by himself. You know, it's kind of like in basketball, getting that three-point shooter open who's maybe he's a great shooter, but he might not be the fastest of foot, and he may not be able to get open on his own. He might need picks and screens to do it. So that's kind of the analogy we utilize, you know, kind of when we thought about it. So right here, what we've done is we've taken our Z, okay? We've taken our Z, and now we've placed him over here to the left. Okay, again, quarterback's progression is not going to change. We've kept our Y at home. We've got our X here. We've got our H here. Okay, so we're going to just run our normal mesh from what we call our cluster alignment, okay? We run that. We've got a corner route working. Again, versus man, this is what you want. Now, you can see it didn't work perfect. I mean, it's not always going to work out the way you plan. Our Y right here gets rerouted. Okay, we want him to set the mesh, but a great adjustment by our X right here of, hey, I can't get – if I go under him right there, man, I tell my guys all the time, do not put a square peg in a round hole. Do not force unnecessary things, man. Use common sense. I don't want my guys to be robots. Okay, I tell the receivers all the time, we're not robots, man. We're trained assassins out there. We got to find grass, and we got to identify coverage. We got to make sure that we understand. Okay, you're not just robotic programmed. Okay, you got to bring your man to the mesh. But guess what? Your guy got rerouted. You can't get under that. Then stay on top. That's okay. You found the grass. Great job making a play. Kept the mesh tight. We got a man answer on third down right there. Okay, we're able to take. Okay, and again, you notice right there what we hit. Okay, we end up hitting the backside mesh. And I'm telling you, if it's man coverage, the backside mesh runner is the guy. He is hard to cover because that joker is running from one side of the field all the way to the other with nobody over there, and that poor DB's got to run with him the whole day. Okay, so that's a really hard job to do. Now, okay, this one here, okay, we're going to end up moving our Z. Okay, so we're going to move our first progression over. Okay, so we're going to move him. Okay, we're going to put him in the slot now. Okay, so again, that's another way, just another type of way that we have taken a player who's a really good football player, okay, and we put him in a position to be successful because maybe against man, he's struggling against press, he's struggling against maybe a double team, whatever it is. We put him in the slot. Now we got him isolated, maybe the corner might have come over, but maybe it's zone. Maybe we got him on a safety now. Okay, so we're still going to work our corner route, still going to work our flat route, and actually on this one we tagged our H, I believe, on a dig coming up. You kind of lose him in the screen here. We might even had him on a post route right here. But again, there's your mesher versus man. Great job running. Again, notice it's man coverage. What do we throw? The backside mesh. Okay, so right here, quarterback's progression was Z. Okay, down to the play side mesh. Okay, to the back if we had him over there. Obviously things break down. Great job by the quarterback. Okay, and a great job in man coverage. Okay, right there by our X receiver. Okay, working that backside. Throwing that man mesh right there on the backside. Okay, another great example of it here. Now, again, okay, just talking about right here of manipulating coverage. Okay, and there's a route in here I'm going to really discuss later on, but manipulating coverage, manipulating matchups. Okay, again, this kid was a true running back, but we had another kid that we moved. He got knocked out in this game, took a big time blow, but we still utilized the concept. So as we motion our back out, we're going to identify if they're going to kick the corner or if they're going to kick a backer. If they kick a linebacker, you could work an individual route with your back here, okay, which we had, and the quarterback knew pre-snap we had. I just don't think he liked the depth in which he played, okay, and he may not liked our personnel because obviously we lost our key guy, out there at this point. And then off of that, we're going to work mesh, okay? So we're going to work our, again, Y and X meshing. Now on this one, we have tagged, okay, an inside post by our Z. Again, we put him in the slot. We've got him working a post route versus safety now, and we tagged our H on what we call a deep cross-country travel type route, which I'm going to get into that more later on. That was where I really felt like we were taking this thing to a new level that really helped us. So I'll get to that travel route in a minute. So right here, we were working post, travel, play side mesh. Okay, right here. Obviously, the back, if we liked it, we were throwing the one-on-one if we liked it. If not, we cleared it out. We're throwing post, travel, play side mesh. Now, what happened? Again, pure man coverage. Okay, great job by the quarterback scrambling. Okay, great job by him finding, the backside mesh gets cut loose a lot, guys. Okay, versus man. Okay, our big tight end there made a great play. Great job by the quarterback making a play right there. And that's the whole deal, guys, is give your guys structure, teach the details of the play, and then let your playmakers go make plays within that structure. And I think that's something that our kids are doing a great job of. So now a couple of times, okay, when you don't have it, okay, one discipline deal, okay, you got to be disciplined at the quarterback spot to be able to check the ball down. Okay, and I think that's something that's a little underrated. Okay, you can never go broke making a profit, man. So check that sucker down, take what you can get. So all we've done again, we knew that these guys, obviously, they're superior talent-wise than we were, and our best player was going to struggle with a really good corner, okay, trying to press man him and do those type things. So we wanted to manipulate where we put him. We didn't feel like we could go into this game and just say, hey, we're going to keep him out here and we're going to win battles. I mean, we might win a couple, and he won a couple on this kid, but that's a dang first or second round draft pick sitting right there. That's a pretty dang good player. So we're going to move our guy around to get him the ball. So we were moving our Z over, okay, and just running good old school mesh here. Okay, working our corner route. If it was man, we felt really good about the corner route down to the play side mesh, down to the back. Okay, so we started our progression there. Now, one coaching point up top, okay, right here. It's a bad job right here. our H wants to be underneath that egg. We want the X to go first. Okay, we need the mesh guy to get there. And I think I might have peeked the chat, and I might have saw somebody say something about receiver splits. Okay, one thing with our receiver splits, if we were normal splitted, this is something you got to talk to your guys about. If you were in a base alignment, okay, which right here we were top of the numbers, okay, with our X to the boundary. If we're in a base alignment, this guy's got to know route urgency. He's got to know that, man, we got to get our butt over here for the mesh, because you're normal alignment, and I don't want to give it away. Like, that's one thing big with us. You know, we don't always want to, hey, tighten down on mesh. We don't want to give it away, because when we started to tighten down so much, people knew it was coming. So we want to really, really make sure we try to stay as consistent as we can with our receiver split. Now, when you're your squeeze set or your condensed sets, you know, you can be, you know, I don't want you to say you can be slower, but you know that mesh is going to happen faster. So just run and play fast right there, but just know the mesh is going to happen faster. But when you're normal alignment, man, you've got to haul butt. Okay, you got to go. All right, right there. All right. And again, that's something that I like to talk. Again, I play quarterback, and I've been back here where, you know, I've got 4 guys trying to rip my face off. And I talk to my guys all the time about route urgency, man. You know, I show sometimes I'll go to the end zone copy and show these freaking old linemen trying to hold up in pass protection while you jog through a route. Okay, they need to know that we as receivers, we play a role in pass protection. Okay, it ain't just about receivers running routes. I mean, we got to run routes full speed and have some route urgency so we can help this dude out. Okay, right here, because he's got dudes trying to rip his face off every play. So that's just a little tidbit that we try to let our receivers see the whole picture, not just their job, but how they affect the whole scheme of things. Great job by the quarterback checking the ball down to the running back right here. We've got the corner play side mesh. We drop it down to the back. Again, that's a first down. Move the sticks just on a check down to the back right there. Okay, a really nice job. All right, you're going to see another example of it here. Just another example of it. Now, here's our condensed set. So now we've got our condensed set. Quarterback knows if he gets in this particular play, okay, every single one of these, we've got an outlet for him. So based on the tag, based on the game plan that week, we've got some type of outlet, some type of relief for him. If it's if it's blitz, overload blitz, and he's got to get rid of the ball. Right here, he knew if we get pressure, we're going 5-man protection here. If we got 6-man pressure right here, he sent 6-man pressure, then the ball's got to go to his outlet, got to go to his high. Okay, and that is the back in this particular scheme. Okay, so right here, we're just running our normal, okay, mesh concept, okay, to where we've got our corner route, we've got our mesh, we've got our H right there on the outcut. We get 6-man pressure, we sensed it, okay, ball's got to go to the back, okay, right now. Okay, they kind of greened up, they kind of got out of there, okay, with their backer, but it was a great job of checking the ball, okay, down there. The quarterback felt it, okay, he felt 6-man pro. 6-man pressure with 5-man pro. All right. Again, I know 7 kind of gets out of there, but great job getting the ball to the back. Again, be safe. You can't go broke making a profit. Okay. Now, going on to this next concept. Now, I'm going to get away from mesh for one clip. Okay. And the reason why is this. We were a big time. I told you guys earlier, we were a big time take a shot down the field type team. Okay. We wanted to attack people down the field as much as we could. All right, and we were the number 19 ranked top 20 pass offense in the country, number 1 in our conference. But the bigger stat for us was we were the number 1 team in the nation in 60+ yard pass completions down the field. So we really did a great job this year. I felt like from a protection standpoint, quarterback standpoint, throwing the ball downfield and guys making plays. So one way we did that, okay, and we studied the Rams, studied the Chiefs extensively, taking a shot on what we call our travel route. And so you're going to see this route right here. Okay. We're going to, in some form or fashion, we're going to have a big boy post with an underneath travel route with some type of flat puller. Okay. To high low the force player to the field here. Okay. And the quarterback's progression is always going to be big boy post to the travel down to the flat. Okay. Now this travel route, we teach this route just like kind of like Y cross a little bit. He's going to run under corner over backer, and he's going to be pushing 25 yards, okay, to the opposite numbers. This ball has got to get thrown to the numbers. First game of the year against Alcorn State, a really good FCS team, we threw that ball to the hash. We threw that ball to the pro numbers. It got picked because, again, you've got to let this thing flush. You got to let this post flush things out for you clear it out and let this guy get to his landmark so we don't get a backer or somebody drifting in a window, okay, right there. And you got to let your flat puller really high-low him. And so right here, you'll see, okay, we get a good fake, good protection, and there's the ball being thrown up to the numbers, okay, right there, okay. And there's the cross-country travel route, okay. So, again, in some form or fashion, we're going to have, whether it's a motion or in our protection scheme, we're going to have a flat puller to the side of that travel to high-low any force defender trying to take away that shot. Now, okay, going back to mesh. So I show you that clip to show you this and show you how we incorporate. So like I told you, we were a big-time shot team. You know, we wanted to take shots as much as we could, but, okay, we wanted to find a way to incorporate those shots into a conceptual passing game. And so we started to incorporate those deals into our mesh concept. So right here, okay, we got a mesh concept working, okay. At the same time, all right, we've got a shot built into it. So the quarterback knew we were working post, travel, down to the mesh now, okay. Now, this was a kind of a unique one here. Again, you'll see some game plan ones here that were a little unique where we were utilizing the back in the mesh. Again, I told you one thing, with our running back, this is actually a slot receiver. You know, he was a converted slot, so he knew the whole pass game. Huge benefit having him know that pass game first, because we could manipulate a lot of different schemes. So you're going to see him actually run the mesh here, okay? Those guys are meshing, and the ball ends up going to what we call our travel route there. Again, we loved it because whenever these backers we felt were getting nosy, okay, we would take, all right, that travel route over them at that 25-yard depth. Okay, we felt like, again, you're not always going to be right. We felt like this post was going to flush the corner. Okay, he ends up falling off on it. Okay, or excuse me, you feel like it's going to flush the corner and really get you some depth with the flat player. Okay, to the field. Now, one thing is this. Okay, one coaching point and one game plan point. A lot of times we tried to find a way by formation to manipulate what we call that, you guys may call it the jack, the wolf, the rover, whatever you call this guy, in a 3-down front, that big linebacker, they play to the boundary a lot. We tried to manipulate ways to get his butt to the field, okay, because obviously he's not used to covering. And this is a prime example. He's a big guy, a really good football player that these guys had, but he's not used to covering in space. So we tried to get him to the field as much as possible to manipulate and high-low him. And you can see, okay, we were able to fit the football over the top of him right there. Okay, with our shot concept, built in with mesh. Okay, so as we go through it, okay, now squeeze set. Okay, so here's our squeeze set. Again, mesh working with the travel route from the slot. Okay, now one thing when you coach this travel route from the slot, we teach it just like a cross release. Okay, so we teach it under nickel over Mike. Okay, but his aiming point is 25 yards, opposite numbers. One big coaching point with that guy is have him keep it higher than flatter, okay? So I always tell him, let the quarterback throw you flat, okay? And that's a prime example. I don't have the clip on here, but we had a big incompletion on it because we tried to keep that route way too flat first. Let the quarterback throw you flat, okay? So here's our Y, here's our X, working mesh, okay? They get a man read, okay, right there. Now, the X needs, again, to bring his man tight to that mesh, okay, right there. And I would love if he brought it, if he stair-stepped it a little bit, what we call a little stair-step, okay, and he brings his man tight to that mesh, okay, to Trevor Terry there, our wide receiver, and he could get a natural rub there. We would love that. Now, okay, 9 times out of 10, a lot of times, guys, we were tagging a post route out here to our Z. In this particular instance, we kept our corner route on, but we didn't do a good job here of getting our depth. We cut this thing a little short at about 9 yards to where it kind of impeded the travel route. So that's why you kind of see congestion there. We want that route to be higher so we get some spacing. You really want, the thing I love about this play, it created 4 levels. So we've got a deep burner, post route, corner route, runner. That's the first level. Second level is the travel. Third level is the mesh. Fourth level is the back getting out after he pass protects. Okay, so you created 4 levels to the play. Great job by the quarterback of fitting that ball in a tight window there on the travel route on top of, okay, the mesh. And good job by the back staying in and picking up that backer for us. Little details there, those running backs got to be schooled up on protections. Okay, we've got an X stunt here. Okay, a middle, like kind of a gut X type stunt. Okay, great pickup by our O-line, great pickup by the back. Okay, and then there's our travel route runner over the top. Now, I love this concept with it. So again, I'm going through the different tags with you now. When you know you're getting man coverage, and this one, and I love showing this one to you guys because I think we're always searching. You know, we broke down third downs a little different. You know, we didn't keep 3rd and 3 in our 3rd and short category. You know, we call that 3rd and mid. 3rd and 3 to 4 is 3rd and mid for us because 3rd and 3 is a little different to me. It's not that goal line or short yardage defense that you're seeing. 3 yards is a long way on 3rd down. So when we got to that 3rd and mid and even sometimes medium range, you know, this was a great concept versus man that we really like. So we're going to run mesh here, and we're just going to tag an out route to our H is all we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to identify, again, pre-snap indicators for this guy. Okay, if we identify man coverage either by formation on the motion or we knew the percentage, I think these guys were like over 68 or over 70% man down here in the low red. We knew that we wanted to work this out route down here in this particular situation. Those are things you're talking about throughout the game plan week. Okay, so we just ran an out route behind our mesher right here. This guy he's got to let the X go. Okay, let the X go and then push up to create the rub and then break on your out cut. Okay, add 5, and then we would hit you at the sticks right there. Okay, so now here's the deal. If it wasn't man, then we would work our normal progression. We would work Z to the play side mesh to the back. Okay, we work normal zone progression there. Now, another thing that we liked, okay, another thing that we liked a lot, manipulating personnel. Now we've got our best slot receiver in the backfield at running back. Okay, and this is honestly a kid that we don't mind handing the ball off to either. But on this particular deal on 3rd down, we wanted to create a matchup. So we took our running back out, put him in the slot, replaced these 2 dudes. Okay, and we're still running mesh. Same progression for this guy, same rules for the back, same rules for the slot. Now he's just doing it from a different alignment. So now we've got our running back in our slot at running back. We motioned him out. Okay, we wanted to see if they would send the backer with him. They did. So that told the quarterback, hey, we want to try to take advantage of man coverage and a matchup, okay, right here with their linebacker on our slot receiver. Okay, so again, we're working our mesh, we're working our flat route by the back. Okay, we're working our, which normally he would check swing from the backfield anyway. He's just swinging from his alignment there in our world. And then we got a corner route, okay, up top by our Z, okay? And then our H is pushing up on the out, okay? One thing I'd like him to do right here is just push, like he does a good job creating the rub, but that guy so far didn't eat that grass up, then stick, and let's make sure that we get our depth right there. But again, we're attacking man coverage, and those are things that you could do a myriad of concepts by putting your best slot receiver in the backfield and see if they empty it out with a linebacker right there. Okay, nice job. Okay. All right, now, okay, getting into this. So that was our mesh world, and that was really big for us. You know, and I'm going to get in with the time we have remaining now into our shallow world. Okay, so this was a great compliment as well to what we did. Again, multiple personnels, same progression, okay, and the receivers were consistent, okay? So from a condensed set right here, okay, we're going to have our shallow cross working. Now, here's the premise of it, all right? Everybody knows shallow cross. Everybody knows, like right now, if we just call normal shallows, okay, we've got a shallow cross on the heels of the D lineman. We've got a mandatory outside release dig route, and that's a key coaching point to me that gets overlooked sometime. That dig route's got to outside release the force player to the field because you've got to take this nickel's eyes away from the shallow. If you inside release it, I tell my guys, even if he's freaking really hawking out wide, you force that outside release because you create the width for that shallow in that little pocket right there. But his eyes cannot see that shallow cross coming. So we really want to outside release the dig, okay? Then we just got 2 vertical routes, or if you guys, some of you guys may program post routes on top, whatever you do on the outside. Now, here's something we started doing that was really a game changer for us, okay? We would have a concept onto the shallow cross, and the shallow cross became the check down. And so that was a game changer for us because now the check down is a moving target beyond the line of scrimmage, and you can take a fast guy and he's your check down, as opposed to the, because the old school way, is shallow, medium, back in the flat. We're going to throw the shallow, the dig, or we're going to check the ball down to the back. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you check the ball down to the back in the flat, you've thrown the ball behind the line of scrimmage. It's a little bit hard to throw because, it's just especially when you're throwing to the left with the quarterback there, you're throwing it out in the flat. It's behind the line of scrimmage, and it could be a fumble if you throw it backwards, all that good stuff. And you're throwing to it back, that's lateral out there, as opposed to throwing to a shallow cross runner who's running with speed, and you have a chance now to create on your check down an explosive play, okay? So you'll see right here, we've got a concept working, okay, right here where we had, I believe that we were working a double post type concept if we had quarters. So if the quarterback felt great about the quarters look, okay, to the field here, okay, that's fantastic. And then again, you can see we incorporated the travel route into it. So we've got our double post working for quarters if we want to work that. If we don't have that, we were working travel to the shallow to the back, okay, right here. Again, but notice this, everything, okay, and the back again was a last resort deal. But everything is coming into the quarterback's vision, okay? So the shallow, the check down to your fastest guy, which that was our fastest guy right there, was coming into the vision of the Q, all right? So he's looking quarters, either double post, scissors, whatever you want to tag, travel down to the shallow check down, okay, coming into his vision, okay? Now, I don't know who the head coach is, the receivers. Again, we got a couple MAs on these couple clips right here. So, again, that's all me, all right? But right here, okay, we were working, all right? We wanted to work a sail type concept, kind of going back to some of our old school concepts here. We wanted to throw sail to the field here. We MA right here at H, okay? We wanted to throw sail into this. And if we didn't have sail, once again, we had a dig and a shallow. And then even in this particular concept, again, number 18 was he was our converted slot receiver to back right here. And he was running a trail concept. So we literally were alerting the go route, okay, if we liked it. And then we were throwing the bench route as our first progression down to the shallow to the trail, okay, right there. All right. Obviously, we had our dig coming in behind it. If the quarterback progressed off pre-snap, did not like, if we were getting, man coverage, hard outside leverage on the slot, he did not like the bench throw. He could progress off that and work dig shallow trail backside right here, okay, pre-snap. Okay, but you can see we throw the dig back in behind it. Okay, so we've got a nice concept working in here with our shallow coming, our dig coming, and what we did here too, guys, we put the dig route, we put him as the number 3 receiver, okay, because we want to try to create the rub for the shallow. So we told him if it was pure man to take 2 steps wide, okay, and then take that slot receiver, okay, on your heels and try to create the rub, and then push back vertical to 10. Okay, so you'll see right here. Our Y is trying to create the rub for our Z, but there's no need to since it's zone. Okay, ball goes to the dig route right there. Really nice job by the quarterback. Very well executed play. Okay, right there. Besides the H busting right there. Again, that's on me. Not coaching that well, good enough up. Okay. Now, a couple of things we started doing, okay, onto the shallow. Again, it ties back into everything. Condensed set, okay? Utilizing the back to try to recreate the leverage for some of your routes, okay? So you're going to see in this concept, okay, we have some type of zone beater with a man beater with the shallow as the drop-off, okay, and then utilizing the running back to create the leverage. So right here, we're going to throw, if we had quarters in this particular concept, we had a quarters beater built in right here with a dig post concept with the shallow being the check down, okay? The running back on the wheel was a man answer and trying to create the width of the play. And then we'll have a corner route, okay, down here is a man answer as well. Okay, so one thing I want you to see is look at this. When we motion the back, okay, and I'll be honest with you guys, this game right here in particular, we ran this one concept and manipulated it and diversified it numerous ways, personnel-wise, formation-wise, but the progression and the routes were the same for everybody. So really, in our mind, we were running the same play, but to the opposition, you know, we were running a lot of different plays, and that's really what we had our game plan based on, and we ran that the whole night. Now, when the running back goes, it loosened up that corner and recreates the leverage for the post route. And so you can see it loosened that corner, and now our post route has got exactly what we want. We've got an outside leverage nickel, okay, that we're going to stick at, all right, that we're going to stick at and then stay on top of, and we've got a dig that's hopefully going to pull, okay, this safety. Now, quarterback-wise, we've identified its quarters, so we know the ball needs to go up to the quarters beater, okay? So, again, you've got a quarters beater built in, you've got a shallow built in, you've got a man beater built in. You're combining all these things, so you don't got to call. You don't have to have as many calls in your call sheet. You've got it all built into one, okay? Great job by the quarterback of IDing the coverage pre-snap and letting it ride, okay? Great job by the receiver attacking it, okay? Once again, we've pushed the back out. Now what they've done, okay, so now instead of sending the corner out there, they send a backer, okay? So they have vacated their flat player now. Okay, so once the quarterback feels that, he sees that in the motion, okay, he knows that that shallow cross ought to be looking pretty dang good now. You just vacated the grass, okay? We've gotten some type of man coverage here. So once that motion went, he felt the rotation. So we're not going to throw the cover 4 concept. Instead, we know that we're now going to work our shallow concept versus man, or if he loved the matchup, the corner route versus man, okay? And we've recreated the leverage for the shallow with the back right here. So, again, I'll let it play out, okay? We motion the back, okay? Recreate the leverage. There's nobody in the flat. Great job dropping it down, okay, to the shallow crosser. Let him run for days. Again, that's the check down in our mind. So he's checking down to this kid for us is a 4.3 40 guy and he's not your prototypical X receiver. We put him at X because that's a lot of time our speed check down guy in these concepts. So you can put a guy who's the speed cat. He's a Tyreek Hill type guy for us. You know, he's a 5'10", 185, just burner. And, we're going to have that guy be the check down guy and be the speed guy, in the check down stuff. Okay. So great job by the quarterback. Great job on the run after catch. Again, he's the check down. Drop it off. Let's go to work. Okay, nice job. Okay. All right, now, okay, we've got, again, our squeeze set. Okay, and now we've identified quarters. Okay, quarters coverage again. Okay, we felt like it was zone, zone, zone. They vacated the nickel again. They didn't push the corner, but we didn't feel, okay, that it was, necessarily just hard cover 1 or anything like that. These guys are kind of matching it. Quarterback peaks the post. He felt like the backside safety was getting some depth. So that's what he told told us and told our quarterbacks coach and OC that he felt like he didn't have the post, so he checked it down to the dig. Again, notice one concept attacking multiple areas on the field, and different people are touching the football. The shallow cross has touched the football. The dig has touched the football. The post has touched the football. Okay. The running back has touched the football. All right. Another way that we devise it. And I'll be honest with you guys, and again, just being very transparent with you guys, this is off a timeout right here. This is kind of this is how simple it is. And again, because I don't want you guys that are coaching high school ball and stuff like that to think, man, this is way too complicated. Like, we can't do this stuff. Crap. We came up with this play really on the sideline, like in between the drive. And during the timeout, we talked about it. And this is the same play. We just manipulated it now as opposed to motioning the back. We pre-aligned the back, okay? And if that's a corner, we weren't going to work him. If it was a backer, we were going to throw we could throw some type of option route, go route to him. If so, you get a matchup already pre-aligned. And then we were just going to manipulate our Z and move him around. Our best player, we're going to take him from a trip standpoint, a cluster squeeze standpoint, kind of hide him in there in the slot, and then motion him and let him do the same job. So we motion him. We identify we've got the corner, okay, on the running back. So we want to end up working our shallow cross as opposed to working the one-on-one here, okay? So we work our shallow cross once again, okay? Again, we identified down here, we knew in the low red, probably percentages told the quarterback it's going to be probably man coverage So we need to probably work our shallows. All right, right here. We need to work the drop off right here. We had a corner out. They ended up cutting the corner out loose. Okay, so you could work that versus, man, if you like the leverage pre-snap, wasn't crazy about it, felt like he could stay there on it, end up cutting loose. But that's the shallow crosses, Cat. Great job by the quarterback dropping it down. Again, that's the check down. Great check down. Okay, we're running, catching and running right there. Again, one coaching point I thought was great that that our OC had and for the quarterbacks and we had was, on the check down stuff, we're throwing short, running long. That was the coaching point, man. Was the emphasis was, hey, throw short, run long. Throw short, run long. So it was as opposed to throwing a check down short and running short. Okay, we were catching and running long, and that's we wanted that yak. Okay, again, showing you the same deal. Okay, we've got a shallow cross as our drop down check down. We've got a zone beater. We've got a man beater. Okay, we've got the running back pre-aligned wide. They didn't put a backer on him, so they put the corner on him, so we wanted to work again, see if it was our zone concept. If not, we're going to check it down our shallow. Okay, and we've got our man concept. Okay, again, check, throw short, run long. Throw short, run long. Okay, right there. I know I've got probably a minute left. I'm just going to zip through this one with you real quick. And I'm just going to, again, just kind of give you bare bones, and then I'll open it up. Sorry for if I go over a little bit, Keith. If you need to shut me down, shut me down. But, right here, this is what we called our cross-country concept. And, again, I'm showing you this because we incorporated this into our shallow concept. So we talked about the travel route earlier. In this concept, we're going to have two travel routes. So we're going to have a big boy travel and an underneath travel. Again, he's aiming 25 yards. We aim the big boy travel on top, 30 to 35 yards. And this was like, we considered it kind of a big downtown mesh. So we would a lot of times 6-man to 7-man pro this, but in some form or fashion, we're going to have a flat puller to the side of the underneath travel route. So you're going to see right here, great protection, great job by the quarterback, our on top travel route runner, okay? And then there's our underneath travel route runner, okay? Crossing people up down the field. Okay, again, we were taking shots down the field, guys. We tried to throw 10 a game. We felt like if we threw 10 a game, 8 to 10 a game, we might connect on 3 of them, but that might be 21 points. So we're kind of playing with house money there is what we felt like. So right here, great protection. In this particular instance, we were 7-man pro in it. Our back is wrong, okay? And we got a flat puller to the side of the underneath travel. Great job. And you see that's the throw. Throwing it to the numbers with great height on the ball. We call that a big time 2 ball right there. Really, that one's a 3 ball max air right there out to the numbers. Great landmark by the receiver. Really nice play. You'll see this one a little better because the camera shot widens out. So this is our 3-man cross country concept. So now all we did, we took the motion guy out of it. We're going to have a slot receiver create what I call the verticalness of the play and run a big boy post to the opposite pylon, because remember, his landmark is the numbers, his landmark is the pylon on the inside post, the backside pylon, or the backside goal post. We wanted him to flush it. So we want him on top, we want him second, we want him third, and then we're going to have some type of flat puller pulling the defense here. You can really see how this develops, okay, right here. So there's our big boy post. There's the travel route on top, travel route underneath. And I'm telling you guys, just for reference, they don't cover the underneath travel route guy. That guy gets cut loose all the time. That's really where the ball should have went right here, but I don't blame him. We had leverage on the post. We should have made this play at receiver. But great, again, attacking people downfield. We want to attack in our offense always. We want to be a threat to score every play, and it really flushes the defense out of there and allows for your underneath throws later in the game. Okay, so I'm going to use one example here, Keith, and I'll be done. One example of the way we incorporated that into shallow cross, okay, and into the mesh world. Now, bear with me here. I'm not going to get into the details of this, but, we personnel this. That's actually our ex-receiver. And, again, we can put people wherever we want, and you're going to do your same job. You're going to run mesh or shallow. In this particular instance, this was a mesh type deal. You're going to run your mesh, okay, from wherever we align you. So we actually aligned him in the backfield in a 2-back set. So to the defense, it's a 20 personnel look. Really, we're in a 10 personnel world for us. And we're going to tag it with cross country. So we're looking cross country for quarters, If we don't have the cross country, we're working down to the mesh. Okay. So you'll see the big boy cross country post. Okay. The big on top travel, the underneath travel. Okay. Which is about to get cut loose again. Again, that throw to us, that's open. That's not covered to us because he's going to run to the numbers. We feel like we're going to lead him. We got to step on that cat right there. Now, great job by the quarterback feeling man coverage and know that the mesh is going to stay on the move. We meshed the two back guys. Again, we didn't change their job. We just changed where they line up, and we dropped it down, okay, to the X right there, okay? So, again, just creating diversity in the play right there, okay? So, I know I've gone about an hour, and I want a chance to, I don't mind at all, answer some of your questions, and if you guys have any. But I really, really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you guys taking time out to get better today. And I hope that there's something in your, that you can take into your offense that's going to help you guys this season. And I hope everybody stays safe and stays healthy out there. But Keith, however you want to do questions, if you want to do it on the Q&A deal, I don't mind, or however.
Yeah, you should have some there on the Q&A if there's any. They should pop up there. Coaches will write them in.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right here, I'll write them into you guys. Is it better to write them in or kind of answer them? Can I answer them right here if there's not too many? Using extreme receiver splits, like we talked about, first question, think having the Z running the post instead of a corner out would still fit the structure of the play. Yes, I do. I think if we were using max splits on this stuff, instead of running the corner, obviously we wouldn't have really good leverage to do that. So, we would probably put that guy on more of a post if it was a max split type deal. Yeah, that's a good question there. How many sacks did we give up throwing our travel route? Not really sure on that. I'll be honest with you. We gave up a couple, but it was nothing that was where we felt like it was detrimental to where we can't run this play because of the sacks we're giving up. We tried one thing in that, Coach Jackson. I think that was Coach Kyle Jackson that sent that one. We tried to game plan as much as possible the most static look we could get, whether that was a personnel grouping or a formation that would really keep those guys static and not getting all exotic with their blitzes and things like that, to where we knew that we weren't going to get a lot of pressure. But also we 6 and 7 man pro'd it quite a bit. So and the quarterback did a great job of moving the pocket sometime to create that. So so that we didn't really give up just a ton. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it wasn't detrimental to the play. So that looks like, I think, the main ones that we had there. If anybody's got anything else, but I really appreciate you guys' time. I really do, and thank you guys for having me. Thanks for having me, Keith. Unless anybody's got anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job. Thank you. Thanks to everyone here for tuning in. Thanks, Coach. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, guys. God bless. Take care.